It ain't no jokers. Crypto czar David Sachs just had his press conference, the primary press convention of a US professional talking approximately cryptocurrency on this way. Became it a don't you realize pump it up or a big nothing burger. We'll communicate approximately what he said, the way it affected the prices. Did it sell off? Did it pump? All that. I requested as you provide me a stunning smile to ship out the good vibes. Smishity ruin. That like button. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. Ha ha. Staying alive. Staying alive. Let's get into it. So we are going to concentrate to some sound bites, and we are going to we're going to study, you already know, a little bit of a recap of what that they had to mention. So start with the sound bites, and then we will get to their recap. So that is the first clip. David Sachs claims one of the first things we're going to examine is feasibility of one of the matters that the president told us to do became to assess the concept for a Bitcoin reserve. And so this is one of the matters. It's one of the first things we're going to observe as part of the internal working organization inside the management. So as soon as we get all that set up, we are still expecting a few cabinet secretaries who are on the running organization to get showed. So we're still inside the very early tiers of this. However, that's one of the first things we are going to take a look at, is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. I suppose the concept of the sovereign wealth fund's a little separate, and you'd have to speak to Secretary Lutnick quickly to be Secretary Lutnick. So it really is the primary element that could be a large bombshell, because everybody changed into like, wait, a 2D, is it going to be a crypto reserve? Is Bitcoin reserve off the desk? And now the primary thing he comes and stated, the 1/31 of the first things we're going to have a look at is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. So all the Bitcoin Max sees it, all people that holds Bitcoin, you can now relax a touch bit because they're going to be looking at this and how they might doubtlessly do it. So that doesn't mean that you already know the overall crypto reserve is off the desk, but a just natural Bitcoin reserve continues to be something that they would be looking at. The second component that he said about was that it says stablecoins have ability to ensure the USA greenback dominant internet. Let's take a listen. Stablecoins genuinely have the capability to make certain American greenback dominance the world over, to growth the use of the US greenback digitally as a world's reserve currency, and the manner create doubtlessly trillions of greenbacks of call for US treasuries, which could decrease long-term interest prices. So I said on this earlier, the truth that there is a invoice going through with the aid of Senator Haggerty to introduce stablecoin bill to the Senate that would give us a clear regulations for stablecoins. They're already beginning to paintings on that. That video sort of got pushed down because all people changed into going stay whilst the press conference became occurring. And it was just, it constantly occurs at the worst time. Like 9.3 is whilst my youngsters are going to sleep, you know, I'm tucking them in, I'm studying bedtime testimonies. And I can't pass stay at the one's hours, but a type of YouTube you recognize, forestall pushing the video. And so I'll hyperlink to that video at the end of this video because there was a few very critical stuff in that video as nicely, which you guys need to understand. And so this is coming, another aspect this is, we will get to the whole lot that changed into said within the press conference. However, we did get information that the SEC Task Force website is live, a brand new statement from Task Force leader Hester Pierce. You can go and read the statement. This is, you already know, we're already seeing the new SEC Act, a lot specific than the old SEC, even before we have seen the new SEC chairman being stated. So it is going to be very thrilling to see what takes place there. And right, here's the recap. Let's make this a bit larger. I want my glasses proper. I'm getting older already. House Financial Services, House AG, Senate AG, and Senate Pagan Committee are forming a bicameral committee to lead on crypto law, wherein they had been prioritized stablecoin and market structure rules. Banking GOP Chairman Senator Tim Scott says he plans to be as competitive as feasible to have bills through the Senate inside the first 100 days. Communities plan to build from FIT 21 invoice for marketplace structural legislation, and will use Senator Haggerty's new stablecoin bill, the only that we just talked about, that dropped nowadays, as a starting point for brand spanking new law this Congress. Representative French Hill knows how his invoice primarily closely resembles the bill for remaining Congress. Stablecoin law is shifting ahead fast. Quickly, according to Senator Tim Scott, he says Republicans have been working with Democrat sponsors at the bill and that they plan to transport it first. And he says that they plan to paintings on each marketplace shape and stablecoin bill assertion simultaneously on a bipartisan basis within the House. Senator Tim Scott says that he needs to talk about AML legal guidelines with Democrat colleagues in broader sense, not simply because it pertains to digital belongings. And David Sachs says one of the first matters they may be going to have a look at is the feasibility of Bitcoin reserves, but they're nonetheless in early stages, as a few members of the presidential running group on virtual property are nevertheless no longer yet to be confirmed. So what came about with the rate action? Now, if you watched the video from before that, YouTube crushed proper. We talked about the possibility of a buy the rumor, promote the news kind of action. And in case you wouldn't say something groundbreaking, then we'd have there wasn't sincerely a buy the rumor. However, we may want to have a sell the information. And it is essentially what passed off because they failed to say something groundbreaking. And clearly what they are saying here is that lots of the humans that need to make the choices aren't bestowed, or the human beings that want to push via things that could probably take place haven't but been confirmed. And this will show up within the following few months due to the fact all of these secretaries want to be showed. There's lots of transferring portions that need to be moved. You can't like the president. We mentioned this at the channel before, that I might plenty as a substitute have some things set in stone, undergo. Congress set in stone as a law, then the president coming out and announcing, I'm doing this, I do not care. And then the courts blockading it, or the courtroom announcing it is unlawful, or things like that. So it's a great deal better to move gradual and constant. I recognize that people need, matters to blow up, matters to go up very, very speedy, and you understand the whole thing to be intense to the upside. But that's no longer how matters paintings and of path as the clicking convention cousins sort of become winding down right here. You may see it started at 9:03 p.m. my time, and as you understand, 15 minutes later, already it started out dropping down, and we saw Bitcoin drop beneath 1,000,000, and it's selecting up a little bit. The market is picking up a little bit. XRP is picking up a bit, but well known, the total market is down 3% at the day. So there wasn't something groundbreaking. There wasn't anything within the sense of breaking news. However, the truth that there has been this press conference and we had senators speaking about cryptocurrency and their course of action for the cryptocurrency marketplace, and the reality that we have a crypto and AI czar, right, is huge, and it is recreation changing today. Just now, not recreation changing information today, and that is first rate proper. We do not have to have groundbreaking, shattering, earth-changing, life-changing news every unmarried day. Same way each person watches the nightly information, and not each unmarried day you've got news that changes your lifestyles. And so the market right here, this is why a form of became constructing it up. But I said in advance these days that I noticed human beings pronouncing the crypto market is going to alternate forever. He's going to, right? So I become like, oh, keep your horses a little bit, slowly, slowly, small, proper. But I want to translate it to slowly, right? Slowly, slowly, lat. Let's get there. We'll construct on it. We'll build the cryptocurrency marketplace, and the amusing instances will come if everything is good, because there is no motive why a laugh times, the parabolic movement, the banana region should not come, except there's something catastrophic that happens to the crypto marketplace and cash doesn't are available in. So those little lulls, or those little pullbacks, or those little, quote unquote bad times, they are going to come. And I become studying today via the manner that the whole thing that passed off during the last 48 hours with that big dip, it seems like might be some shenanigans, some manners take place there that could ship some humans to the slammer. However, we'll see. It might be like is probably the FBI. Like there could be a few matters come in there. I study a few tweets these days.